Welcome to XZ Architects Data. Today, I would like to tell you what is modern architecture vs classical architecture. While the modern style of architecture is widely being used in different structures today, there are some people who still prefer a classical touch. The differences between classic and modern architecture are quite distinct, not only in terms of style and form, but also the materials required to execute their design. For example, classical buildings require materials that are readily available such as brick and timber, while modern buildings involve materials that are more industrialized, like glass and steel. By imagining these elements put together in one structure, a part modern and part classic house may be a silly idea. It might already be a common advice to be more in particular when it comes to designing your home, whether you want to have a modern or classical hub. Of course, people are inclined to choose modern architecture for the sake of being timely. However, context is important in designing a certain structure. Should modern architecture be applied in constructing a 3-story apartment or a bungalow? Or would classical architecture be more suiting, especially when you consider the surrounding area of your potential building? A fusion of classical and modern, controversial, but worth taking risk if done right. Combining classical and modern architecture is intriguing, and some people find it hard to visualize the end result of a building that incorporates both styles. There is always a chance that the outcome will not be as good as you first imagined it to be. Instead of getting compliments about the beauty of the structure, people can only describe the sum of all your efforts as weird. Thus, it is important to carefully plan every steps in constructing your dream home where classic and modern architecture would meet. Perhaps you already know that planning a construction project is a tedious job. You cannot make one decision without thinking it through. Just like when you are about to transport your car from one port to another, you cannot just pick one auto shipping service without knowing about its background. When it comes to combining classic and modern architecture, the best tip to pull off such trick is to do things step by step. Do not start your project by building classic and modern features all at once. For example, you can visualize your house as a classic building first. Afterwards, you can do some sort of extension and insert features to make your house more classic. The outcome will look amazing as the historic and contemporary elements blending in nicely. There is nothing wrong with taking risk. Just be creative. In planning your own home, listening to other people's opinions can help. However, at the end of the day, it is your own input that should matter. There is no one stopping you if you want a mix of modern and classical architecture. In fact, doing so is like paying tribute to the classical approach that is already fading away due to the rise of contemporary style. Allow your creativity to do the work for you, but remember not to force your ideas in the way. After all, that is what architecture's grandeur and language is all about. Take a step back and think again if you are not sure about the execution of a plan.